Welcome back to English Movie Studio. 2024 has just begun, and the films that have been released thus far are of a decent standard. However, if you're a movie enthusiast searching for fresh, enjoyable films to watch on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus, then these top 10 recent Hollywood releases are available for your enjoyment. So get ready for distinctive selections that aim to amaze, surprise, and challenge the limits of storytelling. Thus, take a seat, relax, and watch the wonders of the movie cinema come to life. Now let's start the video. Number 10. The Abandoned. It is a crime thriller film, directed by Yin Sang. The main character of the story is Wu Ji, an upset officer, whose life takes a turn for the worst when an innocent Thai woman's corpse washes up on the coast. Before long, a severed finger proved that what initially appeared to be a terrible accident was actually a murder, a very gory one. The scenario becomes increasingly pressing as the number of missing women rises, while Wu Jie puts her own problems aside and aligns with her nudie teammate in delving into a series of horrific clues and suspicious fragments of proof to discover the culprit. This grisly murder mystery takes place in the context of migrant workers, and the theme is masterfully handled, while the mystery surrounding the background of the dead keeps you interested in thinking. However, the main flaw is that the last part of the story loses focus due to an abundance of details around the killer's identity. Ultimately, it's a roller coaster of a film with a likable storyline for its main character, but it does not have the satisfying climax that the movie makes for its audience in its closing minutes. Thus, if you are a devoted admirer of the crime thriller genre, give this some thought. Number 9. Society of the Snow. It is a 2023 survival thriller film, directed by J.A. Bayona. The movie depicts an incident that occurred in 1972, when Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 was hired to fly a rugby squad to Santiago, Chile, had an unforeseen event, and crashed onto a glacier in the middle of the Andes. Only 16 of the 45 passengers survive, and get stranded in one of the world's most dangerous and unapproachable locations, where they resort to extreme measures to deal with hunger in order to remain alive. The plot progresses as they make choices that influence whether or not they survive in the middle of this hopeless circumstance. The film does a good job of capturing the terrifying true story, and its realistic presentation and survival aspects contribute to its emotional depth. However, the narrative occasionally oversimplifies the visuals, failing to allow them to stand for themselves. But all things considered, it's a skillfully crafted movie that finds its soul in depicting the characters facing an unbelievable situation. Number 8. Napoleon. It is a 2023 epic historical drama film, directed by Ridley Scott. The film tells the story of French ruler Napoleon Bonaparte's ups and downs, as well as his unrelenting quest for power, using the point of view of his addicted, tumultuous love for his lady love, Josephine, while also highlighting his brilliant army and political maneuvers. The narrative starts with his early years as an aspirational soldier, and progresses through the years that made him one of the most famous and divisive people in history. It additionally offers a glimpse at his life off the field of warfare, with special attention to his troubled wedding to Josephine. Putting aside how accurate it was to history, director Ridley Scott's outstanding directorial abilities were the film's standout feature. The battle scenes are where the movie shines. They are lavish, massive, and remarkably immersing. The film is wonderfully shot, but struggles with its biopic elements, since it just glances at the top layer of Napoleon the man. Therefore, you may enjoy many visually stunning and gripping sequences, particularly the depiction of raw and heroic battle actions. Number 7. The Marvels. It is a 2023 superhero action-adventure film based on Marvel Comics. It is the sequel to the film Captain Marvel, 2019, and a continuation of the television miniseries Ms. Marvel, 2022. This is the one Marvel movie that is largely overlooked, and it's not even that terrible. The story follows Carol Danvers as she takes down the Supreme Intelligence, which controls the wicked Kree civilization. However, eliminating Supreme Intelligence altogether has unforeseen repercussions, and they start to show up when her work takes her to an unusual wormhole connected to a Kree revolutionary, where she entangles her powers with those of Ms. Marvel, a devoted follower from Jersey City, and Captain Monica Rambeau, an astronaut and Carol's distant cousin. The next part of the narrative takes advantage of this, as the three start switching places, figure out how to cooperate, and learn from one another, in order to preserve the universe from an increasingly powerful Kree leader. The film is not without flaws, and has problems with its own plot and villain. However, the story remains entertaining due to its amazing chemistry between the protagonists, fantastic action, and tons of fun. Number 6. Self-Reliance. It is a 2023 comedy thriller film, directed by Jake Johnson. The plot centers on Tommy, an annoyed man who gets an invitation to play in an online reality TV competition and earn $1 million. The catch is that he has to elude hunters for a month as they try to murder him. Nevertheless, he soon discovers that there is a glitch in the game's rules that allows hunters to only target him while he is alone. Thus, he makes an effort to convince relatives, close companions, and complete strangers that the competition is genuine and that they need to stick alongside him at all times. But when his friends and family refuse to trust him, mayhem breaks out. A humorous twist on game may not amaze you, but it does produce a number of challenging circumstances that keep the film enjoyable. The main flaw is that it focuses more on managing banter and jokes, building out the suspense and the screenplay. The cast was good, and the film's madness will satisfy anyone searching for a fun film with a dramatic climax. Number 5. The Moon. It is a 2023 space survival drama film directed by Kim Yong-hwa. The story takes place in the future, following the first manned journey to the lunar surface, which ends tragically with an unexpected accident on their vessel. Meanwhile, several years later, another effective human voyage takes off, but it malfunctions due to a powerful solar storm, leaving one crew member, Sun Woo, trapped in space. In an attempt to save Sun Woo from yet another deadly disaster, the space station looks to Kim Jae-guk, its former executive director, for assistance. However, this rescue effort gets into jeopardy because of a secret held by Moon Young, the chief of staff of the space outpost. The film's outstanding cinematography and CGI of lunar landscapes and spacecraft are its primary strengths, while the entire plot is not as good as it could have been. The conclusion and the events that will happen next are predictable to viewers, but even with the plot's predictability, the outstanding, stunning effects and the whole moon sequence make up for it. For everyone who enjoys space stories, it's a good movie. 4. Saltburn. It is a 2023 dark comedy psychological thriller film, directed by Emerald Fennell. The movie centers on Oliver Quick, an Oxford freshman, who develops an obsession with Felix Catton, a rich and well-liked student who is welcoming to Oliver's revelations of his parents' addictions and emotional problems. However, Felix consoles Oliver after he loses his cool amid an unexpected tragedy, and extends an invitation for him to stay for the summer at his charming family's property, Saltburn. But then things take a turn for the worse when Felix finds out about Oliver's lies and dies. But things are not so easy, as additional bizarre incidents at Saltburn lead to unexpected discoveries. The movie is definitely not intended for families because it contains a lot of dark and disturbing scenes. It is a twisting narrative of absurd wealth, in which Oliver is bowled up into the realm of money and great power, revealing a reality that will surprise and outrage you, while simultaneously refusing to let you walk away. Overall, Barry Keoghan gives a powerful performance as the protagonist of Saltburn, a gothic drama that examines glass, obsession, desire, and the nature of power. Number 3. Concrete Utopia. It is a 2023 disaster thriller film, directed by Tae-hwa. The story takes place in Seoul, which is completely destroyed instantly by an enormous earthquake. Only the Imperial Palace residences are still standing. As outside survivors who learned of this shelter start to pour into the residences, the Imperial occupants start getting intimidated. This forces the Imperial inhabitants to band together in order to survive, and with the help of a new leader named Yeong-tak, they establish new laws for the community and restrict outsiders from entering. However, a sudden battle amongst them quickly arises and continually struggle for staying alive, endangering their secure shelter. The movie tackles social and interpersonal connections between characters while examining the idea of survival for the strongest. The drawback is that there is too much going on at once, too many characters, and a lot of action. But the general concept of the film is straightforward, and it is masterfully carried out in a gripping dystopian thriller story that keeps you on the edge of your seat throughout. Number 2. The Beekeeper. It is a 2024 action thriller film, directed by David Ayer. The story follows Adam Play, whose generous landlady kills herself after falling victim to a phishing scheme with money intended for her charity. Horrified by what happened, Adam Play, a former beekeeper agent, launches an all-out effort to exact revenge on those involved. His ruthless quest for retribution gains global attention when it is discovered that he was once an agent of the formidable and covert Beekeepers group, whose goal is to protect democracy. Although this is merely a different violent revenge thriller, it's more enjoyable than an ordinary action film because of the peculiar bee concept used in the film. Jason Statham never ceases to amuse you with his bee-themed punchlines and his imaginative ways of inflicting pain on people who deserve it. It features decent worldbuilding that gives some insight into his organization, and there's also just enough outrageous action as well as dialogue to keep things interesting. Number 1. Anatomy of a Fall. It is a 2023 crime drama thriller film, directed by Justine Triet. The story revolves around Sandra, a lady accused of killing her spouse, Samuel, while their blind son becomes the primary witness, who is forced to make a moral decision. The story opens with Samuel's body discovered dead in the frozen snow near the remote chalet he shared with his blind son, Daniel, and his German novelist wife, Sandra. What follows is a disturbing emotional expedition into the darkest parts of Sandra and Samuel's troubled relationship, in addition to an examination of the events behind Samuel's death. Although the plot at first seems similar to many investigative dramas, the outstanding direction transforms it into a complex study of perception and reality. The story explores the bond between Sandra and Samuel, while also tackling more general issues like gender norms and the significance of giving up for family and career. Overall, it is a moving story about human relations with a sophisticated storyline, superb acting, and masterful direction. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.